Hello, ladies. Happy Monday. I just did a Facebook Live for another group, and so I thought I would check in with you guys. I hope you're having a happy Monday. I asked a really cool question earlier today about what you would have, if you could go back and visit yourself 10 years ago, what you would tell yourself, and then what you would also tell your future self. So if it was like in a weird time zone when I posted it, it may have been like 4 in the morning for many of you. I've been talking to a lot of my Cali girls recently on my breakthrough calls. So some of you may have had that. I posted that really early Eastern time zone, so that may have been really early for many of your time zones. So hope you had a happy Monday. I want to talk to you today about the pyramid, okay? So I have explained this particularly in regards to children. A lot of times people say, what do you tell your kids about the situation? Or what do you tell them about, you know, what happened in the past or their parent or whatever? And this is and within teen girls, when I talk to teen girls or very young girls about an easy way to understand this and explain it in a way that is very kind and not derogatory to anyone involved, and super easy way to understand it. Okay, so, and I was actually a speaker at the Emotional Abuse Forum recently and talked about this concept, and my inbox like blew up because everybody was like, whoa, why didn't I know this before? Well, because I made it up. So, okay, the pyramid. We talked about the healing pyramid, and that's not this. Everyone gets a turn at the top of the pyramid, okay? So, when you're in a relationship, if someone is sick, okay, they're at the top of the pyramid. If it's someone's birthday, they're at the top of the pyramid. If someone just lost their game and they're really upset, they're at the top of the pyramid. If someone's having a really hard day or something like that, they're at the top of the pyramid. The problem is when one person is always at the top of the pyramid, okay? In a relationship, different people should be at different parts at the top of the pyramid. Sometimes you're going to have really hard days, okay? And you get to be at the top of the pyramid. You know, something's going on with work. With Ben and I, if he's traveling, I was taking care of a lot of stuff with his son and school and changing schools and whatnot because he was traveling and I was here, and, you know, he got to be at the top of the pyramid, okay? That was his turn to be at the top of the pyramid. Now, we're building a house right now, and I hate decorating. I don't watch HGTV. I don't do any of that stuff because I'm studying toxic relationships, actually, to be honest, and helping you guys. I don't want to think about carpet or hardwood floors or, you know, and he knows. He actually decorated the house that I live in now, which has lots of chandeliers. Can you see the chandelier? Can you see it? Oh, yeah. I love shiny things and chandeliers. So I do not love doing stuff at the house, but we're building a house. There's tons of decisions to make. He knows that I don't love that, and that it stresses me out to do that. And so he puts me at the top of the pyramid because he knows that stresses me out, and he takes care of that stuff. Do you see where it's a balance and it's taking turns? If you have one child, and some of you may have had the experience where one child was obviously the favorite, okay? That child was always at the top of the pyramid, okay? And what kind of situation does it create in an environment where one kid is always at the top of the pyramid? Sometimes my brother-in-law, he was in a situation where his sister had cancer as a teenager, okay? So obviously she was at the top of the pyramid for many, many reasons that couldn't necessarily be helped. But that changes the family dynamic, right? When you have a sick child or a special needs child, they're going to be at the top of the pyramid in a different way than, you know, another child who doesn't have health issues or whatnot. So we're talking about toxic relationships, right? So how many of you have been in a relationship, and this could be a parent too, they are always at the top of the pyramid, okay? Just like it's equally unhealthy for one child or one family member to be at the top of the pyramid, you know, if you're in a situation, obviously there's a different dynamic between the adult, and the kid, and there's that dynamic. But if you're in a situation where everybody in the house is walking on eggshells to avoid this one family member who's always at the top of the pyramid, who always gets their way, who always has the last say, who always, everything revolves around keeping that one person happy. They're always at the top of the pyramid. And it's always an unhealthy dynamic when one person is at the top of the pyramid. Okay, you get it? And it's so easy when you see it that way and you think, oh, so-and-so is always at the top of the pyramid. That's a problem. It's always a problem when one person is at the top of the pyramid, unless, there's a situation. If someone has cancer, of course they're going to be at the top of the pyramid. If there's someone was in a car wreck recently, if you just had a baby, right? You should be kind of, obviously the baby's at the very top of the pyramid, but you should be pretty high up on the pyramid. How many of you had experiences where you just had a baby and you still weren't on the top of the pyramid? It still wasn't about you and you being okay in your health. I've heard some real stories, ladies. I really have, and my heart goes out to you. So I hope that is a easy way to understand that. It's a very easy way to explain it to kids, to keep kids safe. I had a friend, and she talked about, she's at a Christian private school, okay? So not even in a public school setting. She's at a Christian private school. And this boy was always kicking everybody in the class, like just being silly, underneath the desk, kicking. And her teacher said, well, I put this girl beside him because she doesn't get upset when he kicks her like the other kids. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, it's okay for your kid to be kicked? Because it's not okay for your kid to be kicked, okay? And 30 years ago, we didn't have this information. 40 years ago, growing up in your school system, you didn't have this information. Now we can do better. And if your kid's getting kicked at school, it's okay for them not to be kicked. They don't get to be the nice one. They get to take being kicked well. Okay, because if you're in this group, you know the long-term ramifications of that. You know the long-term ramifications of being nice. You know the long-term ramifications of just taking it. A long-term ramifications of not making a big deal out of things, right? And so that boy was at the top of the pyramid. He got to kick other kids in his class. And I understand as a teacher, you think, oh, it's not a big deal. Because if you've not had any experience in a toxic relationship, it doesn't seem like a big deal. But you know it's a big deal. You know the long-term ramifications. You know that when you think, I'll put that person at the top of the pyramid so that they will love me, what happens? You know what happens. You know the consequences of that. And you think, I'll put them at the top of the pyramid and they'll realize they need me. They'll realize how much I love them and they'll love me back. But that's not what happens, is it? They get used to being at the top of the pyramid and they think it's their right to be at the top of the pyramid. And then it all falls apart, right? Okay, so I just wanted to share that analogy with you about being at the top of the pyramid. I hope it's useful to you, and I hope you begin to recognize all the relationships in your life that when one person is always at the top of the pyramid, and as you think back on your own life and your own childhood, was your sibling always at the top of the pyramid? Were you always at the top of the pyramid? Do you now put your kids always at the top of the pyramid in hopes that they will love you? Because most of my clients are in their 50s, and let me tell you the long-term results of always putting your child at the top of the pyramid so that they will love you. It does not end well. Do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. It feels like, especially if you're scared, they have a toxic father, they have all this, they've been through so much. Yes, they have. I am in no way, making smaller what they've been through. I'm not making smaller in any way what you've been through. But my quest to you, my promise to you is that I will just do my best to end this cycle for you and to help you. And part of that is being real sometimes and saying, if you put those kids and they're always at the top of the pyramid, they're going to get very used to being at the top of the pyramid. And then somehow, some way, they're going to have to go and have healthy relationships with someone else. And that guy's probably not You know, you don't want a relationship for them that they are always at the top of the pyramid and they're always demanding their way and they're always getting their way and pouting when they don't get their way. You don't want that type of relationship with them, for them. You know, you don't want it with them and you don't want it for them. You want them to have a mutual relationship that takes turns being at the top of the pyramid. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, you can shoot me a message. Hope you're having a fabulous Monday. Happy healing warriors. I know that it is weary sometimes, and I know that it is hard, and I know I have a bubbly personality, but I never want to make light of what you've been through or what you are currently going through or what you are currently facing. It is, you know, I get it. I get it, and I don't in any way, I want to just sit with you in that and shout all my love to you and give all my love to you. I hope you had a good Monday. Check out the question that I posted earlier today. And if you have any questions about the pyramid, you can let me know. And check out there's tons of other videos in the live sections under files for this group. Okay? Wow. Happy healing warriors.